Hey, what's up, guys? It's me again, and welcome back to my channel, Mayta What Ifs. After a lot of hiccups, we're finally back and back for good. And as promised, today is the first part of the newly starting series, What If Naruto Was Recruited by the Otsutsuki clan? And yeah, guys, it is a scripted series. It's going to be a long one. We're gonna take things as much as possible in detail. So yeah, things will move a little bit slow in the beginning chapters, but as things go onwards, I will make sure that they go smoothly. And one more thing, you can add on a lot into the story by suggesting, oh, we should add this and name this and do this event, and things go like this. You know what I'm trying to say, right? Anyways, moving onwards, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and follow me on my Polo Uchiha channel as well. And one more thing, shout out to the 1898 for recommending this story, this idea, and yeah, big ups to him for winning the poll. Anyways, enough said. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's first part of the series. Our story begins in Konoha, a few months back before the QB attack in Hokage's office, with Minato Namikaze, who is the leader of the said village. Currently in his office are present alongside him his wife, who is pregnant with their children, his sensei Jiraya, who is a legendary Sanin, and Hiruzen Sarutobi, who is the previous now retired Hokage of Konoha. They all have been gathered there by Jiraiya because he has something big to tell them that is confidential and is only for some years. Jiraiya begins to speak. All right, is everyone here? Everyone nodded without saying a word, intent on listening to him. Okay, so I have been given a prophecy by the Toads, a prophecy that can change the fate of the elemental nations and the whole world. And it involves two people here in this room. Everyone is shocked to hear this, as Minato breaks the silence, asking the question, which one of us is involved, Sensei? It's you and Kushina. The prophecy states about your two children, two of them standing on opposite side from one another. This shocks everyone in the room as Kushina then asks, what do you mean, Jiraiya? What do you mean both will stand against one another? It is as I said, Kushina. One will be the savior of the whole world, while the other one is going to betray us all and join the enemy's side. The room was filled with heavy silence, and nobody spoke until Hiruzen said, so what do you suggest we do, Jiraiya? Since you told us this now before they are even born, I assume you want us to do something about it, don't you? Yes, said Jiraiya. I think I know who will betray us, as everyone was stunned to hear this. What do you mean you know, Jiraiya? Said Hiruzen. How can this be? How can this be that you already know who it is that is going to betray us when he's not born yet? Well, began Jiraiya, it was mentioned in the prophecy that he will be a deceiver. It will be evident as he grows and does the things. So I think I will know when the child will be born. That is why I said that I know who it is and who it will be. As Minato slumped down to his seat, as his head was in both of his arms, as Kushina was also standing by his side, with a sad expression on her face. I can't believe it. My own children will be the cause of destruction and protection, and will fight one another over this. I'm sorry, Minato. I really wish there was a way. I really wish I could help you, kid. Wait, Jiraiya. Can't we just change the future by treating them fairly? I mean, it can work in our favor if we treat them right, wouldn't it? Sensei, it doesn't work like this. It's a prophecy on which the fate of not only Konoha but the rest of the world is riding upon. We can't intervene in it more than we already did. What do you mean, Sensei? Said Minato. Look, kid, I wasn't meant to speak of the prophecy to anyone, but I thought maybe I should let you know. Because if anyone deserves to know about this knowledge, even more than me, it's you two, because it involves you and your kids. As Hiruzen then stopped the conversation by stating that someone was coming, and it was never brought up by any one of them over the course of a month until the night came on which the kids were about to be born. At 9 October, Minato has taken extra precautions by advice of Hiruzen and Jiraiya to make sure that little as possible bit of people were aware of this, aside from them, because there might be a chance their enemies might try to pull something to take revenge, and so far everything was good. So, to take things to a greater extent, for protection's sake, far away from Konoha, but in its borders, a hidden facility of old time that was abandoned since the first Great Shinobi War was found, and was being used by Bivako Sarutobi, wife of Hiruzen, who was in charge since her field was a medic in past, as she and a group of Konoichi nurses were currently handling Kushina in the makeshift hospital room in that facility, and behind them was a door that was closed. On the other side, pacing back and forth, was Minato, who was in deep thought, with the worry of current situation at hand, because Kushina was a Jinchuriki of Kyubi no Yoko, the strongest Biju in the whole world. He was worried because Kushina was quite worried as well before until he asked, and she revealed to him due to the type of seal used on her at the time of Biju being placed and sealed inside of her when she was younger. She was informed when she will go into labor, it will weaken greatly, so much so that the Biju might even break free, and this was Minato's concerns, or one of them, at least, the other being about his children. The prophecy, one being savior by destiny, and the other one destroyer and betrayer by destiny as well. He was conflicted how he was gonna fare with this. How was he and Kushina gonna deal with such a situation all of a sudden? As suddenly he was broken awake from his thoughts by the cries of children, as Kushina, who was in agony, had stopped howling as well, and suddenly the door opened in front of Minato as an old lady walked out with a bundle wrapped in a towel in front of him, with a smile on her face as Minato couldn't believe it. It was his child, one of them, and he wanted to see its face. Hold it! But as his hands moved forward, they were smacked back by the old lady, as Minato complained, Bifako-sama. Why? As the old lady then said sternly, and hush now, Minato. You're a Kage, for God's sake, not a child. And besides, it's a mother's right to see the child and hold it first. As she began to walk inside the door, as Minato followed her into the room, as he saw his exhausted wife laying on the table, as one nurse was holding on to the other child, as that is when Kushina howled in pain again, in agony. What is going on, Bivako-sama? Asked Minato, as Bivako looked shocked as well. I thought there were only two of them. They shouldn't be, Minato. As Minato, with shock-filled expression, then said, There is more? I don't know, said Bivako with a shock-filled expression, as after what seemed like a long time passed, a child was brought to the outer world. But everyone gasped in shock. A few nurses even screamed at horror, as even Bivako was shocked. Kushina was the first one to set her gaze aside from them on the child, as she screamed, Get that thing away from me! It's a monster! As Minato came closer to her, as he saw that his wife was in distress, his gaze then turned towards the child. It was ash white. White hair, skin, extremely white, not pale, just ash white. As his eyes widened, but he suddenly remembered the words of his sensei as well, at that moment, about the prophecy, and even he now realized something in his mind, that this prophecy was not a lie or a joke by his sensei. And if it was going to be a reality, it could not be avoided at any cost at all. But before he could think of any thought aside from that, suddenly, Bivako and the other nurses collapsed on the ground as Minato and Kushina held on to their children, a son and daughter. Who are you? Asked Minato, as someone then came out of shadows. Oh, me? I am just someone who came to congratulate you two for becoming new parents of beautiful children. And oh, what's this? He said, looking at Naruto, and then he laughed. Whatever that thing is, as Minato gritted his teeth, but before he could say or do anything, the man disappeared in front of his eyes and appeared near Kushina and stole a child from her. Since she was weakened and tired, she couldn't do anything. No, my child, yelled Kushina, but to no avail, as the man now again was gone, and appeared from the shadows from the other side of the room, distancing himself from them as he placed a kunai on the neck of newborn. If you try to do anything, the child dies, so be very careful with what you decide. Because you see, the life of your child is dependent on you, Minato. It depends on what your decision is going to be. As Minato, enraged and yelled, "What do you want?" As the man laughed, "Oh, me, I want the only thing that is valuable here, aside from the, whatever that is, and the kids of yours, the Nine Tails," as both of them were looked extremely shocked. As Kushina, in a fit of fright, yelled, because she wanted to protect her child, as her motherly instincts kicked in, "I possess it. I will cooperate with you. Only if you hand that child back to Minato. Me first." As the man laughed, as he said, "Do you think I'm a fool? You two are the best in your own classes. I'll be stupid if I don't have any leverage over you. Now come with me, Kushina, and I will give the child back to Minato." "Kushina, don't!" yelled Minato. But Kushina, being a new mother, listened to her maternal instincts, and did not listen to Minato at all. As she went, as the man laughed, and then grabbing Kushina, he threw the child up in the air as Minato dashed to grab it, while Kushina disappeared with the masked man, with a frightened expression. Minato took his children and escaped the building as he realized explosive tags were everywhere, and he had to get his children to safety. He arrived after escaping to their home, where he was relieved somewhat to know that his kids are safe. But now he had to find Kushina and stop the masked person. But before he could do anything, he sensed something that caused him to freeze. The QB had been freed. Its chakra could be sensed throughout the whole of Konoha. As Minato arrived at Hokage Tower with Flying Raijin, he witnessed the huge Biju outside the village, roaring and approaching Konoha. Slowly, it seemed that something was stopping him from moving fast. As his eyes widened, it was his own men, people of Konoha, who has come together in his absence to protect their home by becoming a barrier between the Biju and their village. As Minato, before he could move, heard a chilling laugh, as he turned around instantly to see the same man standing there. "Where is Kushina? And what have you done to her?" As the man then said, "Come at me and find out." As Minato charged, as both clashed the kunais in their hands, as sparks erupted with the impact, as both tried to overpower the other. "Where is she?" yelled Minato, as the man laughed, "Like I would tell. Come on, show me what Yellow Flash is all about. Why do people fear you?" "Oh yeah?" yelled Minato. "I'll show you." As Minato brought out a different kunai, a tri-pronged kunai with some Fuin kanjis on its handle. As Minato threw the kunai, as the man passed through it, but only for Minato to disappear in front of his eyes and appear behind and above him mid-air, on one hand on kunai and the other had thrown that the kunai that he had earlier thrown, and the other holding a blue ball of chakra that slammed into the back of said masked man, causing him to scream in agony as he became injured with one attack. As Minato had coldness in his eyes, filled to the brim with rage, the man cursed him. "You won't get away with this, Minato." And then he had an idea. He reminded him of the Biju, who was advancing still towards Konoha, causing Minato to be distracted, as the masked person, taking this chance, escaped. But before Minato could go to the front lines to face the Biju, he arrived back to pick something from the house, only to find Kushina, who somehow her way has stumbled there and was now trying her best in a fit of rage fit into her Konoichi outfit. "No, you can't, Kushina. Stay here with them. I will handle this." "How will you, Minato? How? I am the previous Jinchuriki. You and I both know that you will need one to stop that Biju." As his gaze fell on one of the children, the one that looked different. "He'll do, wouldn't he? He will become the Jinchuriki." As Kushina looked where Minato was looking and felt chills, but agreed since there was no time left to spare. It was now or never situation. And so, picking the said child, Minato arrived where Kyubi was and began preparations. As hiruzen, who had taken the charge of the shinobis and Konoichi, saw him and dashed towards him to ask what happened. But before he could say something, a glow erupted from the child, blinding Minato and everyone. As everyone was stunned, couldn't move, And when the glow died down, so did the howls and screeches of the Biju. There was no Biju there. It was gone. Everyone's eyes were widened. They were shocked. Even Hiruzen was. He couldn't understand, like the rest, what has happened. And so same expression could be seen on Minato, as he asked Minato with a shock-filled expression of his, What? What happened, Minato? But Minato was equally stunned, and was only looking at the child in front of him, quite obviously sure that the glow came from him. I don't know what happened, as both Minato and Hiruzen took a step closer to the said child, and that is when their blood ran cold. Their eyes widened when they saw the eyes of the child that opened and looked at them. It was something they had never seen. There were no normal eyes of his. It was frightening, as if one was staring into nothing but abyss of darkness while looking at them. As this is the first part, sorry I'm quite lazy. I tried my best to write as much as I could. This is like 2100 words. I'm gonna try my best to write more in the future, but I hope until this will do for now. And yeah, you guys can suggest what should we name the dojutsu. It's like this. Naruto will be able to, you know, whatever he sees, he will be able to make it much better. It's like this. If he sees Kamiyami and Shinigami, who are fourth dimensional beings, he will become fifth dimensional and become stronger than them. And his dojutsu can't be stolen as well. If someone tries to pluck his eye, they will just dissolve and regrow in Naruto's skull. It's like that. I know it's quite dark, but it is how it works. So yeah, do let me know what you guys suggest. It's just the intro, the first part. And as the story progresses, it will go quite smoothly. I told you guys that it will be quite slow in the start. So yeah, I hope this will suffice and you guys will understand your assignment. So yeah, do let me know in the comment section what we name this jutsu, and I mean dojutsu, as well as where from here the story should go. It's a neglected one, so go ham. Anyways, enough said. This is where I'm going to be leaving this video off, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.